Hello, I'm Tripwyre. Welcome back to Demon Souls Remake. Last episode, we saved Yuria the Witch, killed the Penetrator with the help of our buddy Bior. Not to be confused with Eeyore. And now, we have a choice to make, which is, how do we want to proceed? Because there's still a lot we haven't done. We've done all of this Archstone. We've done most of this one. But I do want to leave the King's Tower for later in the run. So I think we got to make some progress on one of these other three, given that we've only killed one boss in each Archstone. Let's see, I'm thinking maybe it's time to tackle the swamp. Ugh. Swamp of Sorrow. Swamp of Suck My Dick. Fine, let's do it. I don't like the swamp. Nobody likes the swamp. The swamp sucks. You thought the Depraved Chasm was bad? Well, yes, it was. Swamp of Sorrow is also bad. I actually prefer the swamp, though. I just don't like the chasm. It's just too narrow, too enclosed, too precarious, too easy to fall to your death, and too goddamn many enemies. This area still has too goddamn many enemies, but it's a lot easier to just run through if you know where you're going. So, here's the cliff. When you first get to the swamp, we can look out over the nasty mess. Big open area. Very atmospheric. And I decided that I wanted to talk about tendency because I've been putting it off. And I was like, well, when's a good time to do it? And I don't really know that there is a good or bad time to do it. So we're just going to get into talking about world and character tendency real quick before we proceed. And there's a tendency menu right here that I didn't really address. But anyway, it shows you both your world and your character tendencies. Hey, look, it's me. It's my name. And so basically, the tendency system is specific to Demon Souls. The other Souls games don't have one. But this game is notorious for it having one, basically. Especially if you're going to be trophy hunting, you're going to become very familiar, intimately familiar with the system. I sure had to. And basically how it works is that there is a morality system in this game, and it's called the tendency system. And what I mean when I say morality is like good acts versus bad acts. And so certain actions will sway things more towards you being good, or the world feeling good, and other actions will sway it towards being bad. And whether it's in good or bad standing has various effects on the game. So let's start with character tendency because it's a little bit simpler. So your character tendency is personal to you, whereas the world tendency is specific to each of these worlds, which is why you can see that each one has their own icon. And character tendency has no bearing on your, the world tendency has no bearing on your character tendency. There is some overlap in, like, you could be making your world darker at the same time as your character, but basically if you want your character tendency to become darker, you can murder innocent NPCs, or you can invade other players and kill them. If you invade and don't successfully kill them, nothing happens, but that's the ways you can make your tendency darker. If you want to make your character tendency lighter, and note, character tendency, not world tendency. If you want to make your character tendency whiter or lighter, you need to kill invaders. And so there's a lot of like forums and Discord and stuff like that for people who are trophy hunting to help each other, because if you want pure white character tendency, the best way is to link up with somebody and just have them invade you over and over again and let you kill them until you have pure white. There is a ring that requires you to have pure white character tendency. There's a lot of other stuff that requires pure black character tendency. Even an NPC who won't show up until you do have that rating and a quest line with her. But the things that the character tendency affects are kind of niche, and odds are you're going to know about it and you're going to be going for them one way or the other. World tendency is going to affect your day-to-day gameplay, though, because the world tendency affects how hard things are, basically. So every one of these Archstones started at neutral, and I think it looks like Archstone of the Shadowman looks like it's still at neutral. Or maybe it's at like one above neutral. But the other ones all have some kind of like yellow or gold glow, which means that they're more towards the light side of things. And the way that it works is that the lighter your world, the easier it is. Like, enemies are actually weaker if you have a light world tendency. If you have a dark world tendency, they're stronger, and they're going to take more hits to kill. Same thing with the boss of that world. So it's beneficial, especially if you're playing for the first time, to keep your world tendency as light as possible. And different things affect world tendency than affect character tendency. So you don't want to spend a lot of time dying in human form, because that takes away from your tendency. It pushes it towards black. And so if you die a lot, if you're not doing well, don't be spamming your Stone of Ephemeral Eyes to resurrect and then just die again, because each time you die, you're actually making the world harder. Unless you die in soul form. It has no bearing if you're in soul form. But if you make yourself a human and then die, and make yourself a human and die in that cycle, you're going to be dropping your world tendency, and it's actually going to become harder. And also, just like with the character tendency, murdering innocent NPCs can... Actually, no, I think that just affects character tendency. However, there typically is one phantom per archstone that if you kill it will tank your tendency, because it's like a good one, like Lord Rydell in the Prison of Hope. If you kill him, the blue phantom, that's going to drop your tendency. Defeating bosses of each area is a good way to bump up your tendency towards white. And in any case, if you go on the wiki, that's the best way to keep track of all this nonsense. There's a lot. There's like a whole list of what it does to your world, and a whole list of things you can do or not do. Just keep that in mind. The tendency system is a thing. It does have effects on gameplay, and some things you can only do or access if you're in a pure white or pure black tendency state. So, sorry, I just had to get that out of the way. I wanted to explain it a long time ago, but I was like, well, I don't want to overwhelm them with information. But it's like, if you're this far into the series, you can probably handle it. So, come on down here to get started on this map. You don't want to just fall right off the cliff and die, so you have to come along the path to the right here. So right off the bat, we had this little tease. There's a shortcut over there that we can't access yet, and a crystal lizard. So instead we can go down here and pick up this item. The Noble's Lotus is an important item in this area, which is why it gives it to you right off the bat. Counteracts poison. You're gonna get poisoned in here. It's just gonna happen because the swamp poisons you. So right away we can see this guy coming for us. This guy hasn't, though, because we have the Thief Ring on. I didn't mean to use Cloak. I forgot that I had another spell equipped that wasn't offensive. Although the Cloak is actually going to come in handy. I'm going to try that on the last part of the swamp area and see if I can actually get through with no trouble. So anyway, the swamp sucks because it's going to restrict your movement and poison you. How long does this cloak last for? So in any case, there's some items scattered around the swamp off to the sides. You can see the glow. If you go that way, there's several items to be gained, and also a red phantom you can kill if you want. You'll also notice these things that look like sand dollars. The darker, like less vibrant looking ones are just shells, and you can walk through them and destroy them. The ones that are moving are enemies, and they will attack you. So we're gonna head on forward. Oh, the cloak ended. Okay. That's all they do. They just... Damn it! I keep thinking I'm on Soul Ray and I'm on Cloak. What a waste of mana banana. So anyway, the way forward is just to follow. You can see this like line of little islands, and they have little fires on them, so it paints a pretty good picture of where you're supposed to go. I'm just gonna avoid danger by going off to the side here, and you can still sprint. It's just very, very slow still. You're gonna get poisoned. It's gonna happen. If you pay attention to my health bar, though, you'll notice that it ticks your health down very slowly. So this is the way I like to deal with this area. Thief Ring on. Run through the swamp to the right. You won't have to deal with the enemies that are floating in here. You won't have to deal with the depraved ones on the little islands. And over here to the left, you'll notice a couple depraved ones and a giant depraved one who you probably don't want to fight, so we're not going to fight them. You can if you want. You can explore the whole area and get every item if you want. I'm not gonna. Not right now. I know I said I'd do everything, but you know what, like within reason. Shit. Okay, never mind. Thought for sure that sound would aggro him. Yay for the thief ring. So now that I'm out of the poison, you can see the phantom over there. Now that I'm out of the poison, I'm going to cure my poison. Heal up a little bit. Also, before doing any significant healing, cure your poison, because the poison ticking your health down will interrupt the heal as it goes up your health bar, making it so that your healing items aren't as effective. But that's a really easy way you can get to the first fog gate. So let's go on through. Now we're going to head on up the path here, and you're going to have to deal with some mosquito enemies. Fire spray is great for these things. So I have, I think, 29 magic, and just 2 little bursts of fire spray killed them. Alright, so Cloak. It seems like Cloak is kind of akin to the Thief Ring in that it doesn't make you invisible. It just makes you a little bit harder to detect. So I don't think Cloak is actually going to do us a lot of good. Be careful of these mosquitoes. They have a pretty wide hitbox. Two there, another one down here. Alrighty. And then some more depraved assholes. Fucking Cloak, I keep doing that. You did. I don't want to be cloaked. I want to make things dead. You know? Jeez. Alright, so I guess Cloak can be pretty good. I walked right up to that guy. And these guys. I wonder why the other one aggroed. I wonder if he saw me attack stuff. Also, that guy aggroed right away. I don't understand. It seems inconsistent, but not bad. I don't know. So anyway, once you get up here, the next step is you just drop down. Actually, I wonder if you can just skip all that. I'm guessing not because of that big old barrier. I think that runs the length of the swamp. So you have to go around through the fog door. Alright, anyway, just keep on dropping down. Grab this item on the way. Black pine resin. So here's a hint that, once again, the boss of this area is going to be weak to fire. Just like the Leechmonger boss was. Well, the guy that comes next is also weak to fire. So hang on to those. That's another reason I didn't want to go for a magic-based weapon. On top of the fact that Old Hero and Old King Allant are resistant to magic damage, having a basic weapon means we can still buff it with various things. And that's a good thing. Alright, so we got some more mosquitoes. Make short work of them. And then we're going to come up on a pretty silly section. Oh, hey there. Marrow stone chunk. It's a pretty rare drop, actually, if I'm not mistaken. So here's the section that you will recall if you played this before. And even if you've never played before, if this is your first time seeing it, you probably won't forget it. It's basically like leech hell. Like, if you are grossed out by leeches, I apologize, because this section is not going to be fun for you. So, there's a little island over there that's covered in leeches. You just saw another one fall down, and they're falling down from this like disgusting inverted hanging nest full of leeches. And unfortunately, we're gonna have to go and knock that nest down because I really want to show off a cool weapon that doesn't work for our build, but I want to show it off anyway. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna keep going forward, and we need to go up the path that's directly above us right now. First, just for our safety, we're gonna take out these giants though. So we're going to aggro one at a time. And remember, the best strategy is to just stay behind these guys. So, and be careful, these guys are not movement inhibited by the swamp. Only you are. Don't be trying to dodge their attacks when you're in the swamp, because you won't actually be able to dodge. Come here. God, the sounds are so like wonky and loud tonight. You can actually see that he's bleeding, but it only does 2 damage per tick. Bleed is so fucking bad in this game. Alright, goodbye. So we got one more giant enemy, and we've also got a poison depraved guy over there. And he's hauling ass. Man, you are really hauling ass. Sounds like you got some wheezing going on. Maybe this guy's got asthma as well. No, thank you, sir. Preservation grains. Alright, so we'll go ahead and quickly take out the poison guy. The poison guy casts the poison cloud, basically, and just poisons you. Shocker, I know. But I don't really think that they're that dangerous, given that you're in an area where just walking in the swamp poisons you, and they give you items to cure your poison. Like, I don't think that they're a particularly dangerous enemy. They're more of a nuisance. So anyway, we're gonna run over here so we can get to that path above. No way, I was poisoned? Holy shit, that's incredible. That's shocking. That's what that is. So we got some more mosquitoes. Alright, cool. Cure that poison. So now we're going to head up here, and this path will allow us to knock down those leeches. The reason we're doing this is because there's already an item on the island, but the really cool item we want is inside of that like weird leech nest. They're protecting it, so when they fall, it'll become accessible to us once we've fought our way through enough of them. Actually, Firestorm would be an amazing spell for running up to that island and just casting and killing a shit ton of leeches at once, but you know, hindsight. Hindsight is shwenty, as they say. So, Leech Town, USA, there's a lot of leeches. They're disgusting. They're disgusting, and I hate them. You know how it is. Hit him. Legendary hero soul, not bad. And then, it's nice and safe. There's a board preventing you from falling, so just wail on this until it falls. So now the pile of leeches, God, that's a gross phrase, has fallen, and we can go down and get our cool sword. And again, we're not even going to use this cool sword because it is for a faith build, but I like it a lot. I didn't mean to fall there. That's okay. I didn't fall to my death, and that's what really matters. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to fall somewhere that was going to kill me. If there's areas I hate having to do over because of a death, it's Depraved Chasm, Swamp of Sorrow. That's mainly it. I mean, Depraved Chasm is the worst one. Alright, so now you can see the sword glowing in the ground right there. There's just so many goddamn leeches, though. The fire damage is pretty good against them, actually. Unfortunately, I can't target them all from this distance. I just want to make it safe to run and grab the sword. What we got for spices? Not bad. I'm hitting a body and not like actually dealing damage to the one in front. That's so annoying. Huh. Alright, bad news bears. I'm probably... No, that was a mistake. Hang on. I'm not just gonna bum rush it quite yet. Oh, I'm hitting the swamp. That's what's happening. It's splashing. That's annoying. Alright, we're just gonna ignore the poison for right now. Turns out this part's not that bad if you just don't give a fuck and you keep moving. Oh, I missed. Alright, let's cure that poison and heal now. And now we can claim the large sword of Moonlight, which is a very cool sword that I have done a full playthrough with. Okay, yeah, just okay. Just chill, dude, just chill. I don't know why I'm picking these up. What are they even for? I'm not sure. Run, 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 run. Okay. So, the large sword of Moonlight. A legendary large sword that shines with moonlight, strongly associated with Moonlight Knight Vito, one of the few remaining relics of God. The blue crystal blade is composed entirely of light, making it impossible to block with a shield. So, this is one of, I believe, the 2 weapons in-game that cannot be blocked by a shield, so imagine fighting a red eye or blue eye knight and having your damage hit them no matter what. No matter whether they're blocking or not. Also, it looks fucking awesome. I love this sword so much. On top of that, it has an S tier scaling with Faith, which means that this weapon will always be useful as long as you can keep pumping points into your Faith stat. And on top of that, it can be upgraded. It can be upgraded 5 times. It can be upgraded all the way to +5. Upgrading it requires colorless demon souls, which you can only get from very specific sources. Some of the easiest ways to get them involve World Tendency. And how it works is that the multiplier for the damage based on your faith it gets higher with each upgrade. So it just makes the faith scaling even better each time you upgrade it all the way up to +5. And so this is a really cool weapon to have if you're going for a lot of new games, like New Game Plus or Plus Plus, etc. Because it doesn't just cap out. You can keep increasing its damage by upgrading it. So I just wanted to show that off. Such a cool weapon. Love it. Alright. In the next episode, we're going to come back at you with the rest of the Swamp of Sorrow, and then probably some more stuff, because it shouldn't take too much longer to get through the rest of this. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you then.